Welcome to Masters of Self University podcast, your highest source of sacred truths and universal wisdom. Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Rachel Fiori, mystic, spiritual teacher, psychic healer, and founder of Masters of Self University. Join our journey of soul transformation as we deep dive into this latest episode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Masters of Self University podcast. I'm Ellie Lee.
And I'm Danny Morley.
And today we have, I always say this, every guest is special, but today is a little something. She is a spiritual teacher and a psychic healer and someone that, me and Danny greatly look up to. Please give it up for Rachel Fiori, everybody!
Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here. I'm very excited that we have our podcast up and running and launching, and we can share this space together.
Yes, I remember I was in Hawaii when I got the note from you, and you're like, "Hey, I know you're in Hawaii, but we're doing this. We're doing this podcast, and it's going to happen quick." And it's been a beautiful ride. Thank you so much for being here. There's so much that we could discuss and talk with you, but I think something that me and Danny have had many conversations on is, you're not just a typical quote unquote healer. I think that people don't really understand the kind of gifts you have and the kind of things that we experience and the wisdom that comes from you. And so can you kind of walk us through how you really tapped into who you are beyond Rachel Fiori, the physical human identity?
Yeah, that is a big question. That is such a big question. And it is very difficult for me to explain what it is that I do because there is so much there and it's very hard to put into words. Some of it's easy to understand, a lot of it isn't. And I can start with that growing up, I always had almost all of the abilities I have now. They've become more powerful over the years. But growing up, I didn't understand, like a lot of people, that this wasn't just normal. How do you not see what I see? I was very confused by all humans, people my age, adults. They confused the fuck out of me. I couldn't understand where they were coming from. Of course, now I can use the language of they're running all their programs and their unhealed woundedness. But I always had claircognizance and clairvoyance and premonitions and clairaudio and clairsentient. I've always been a profound, highly, highly sensitive empath. I've always seen everything in people. And it was very challenging for me because I couldn't understand. It's right in front of your face. How do you not see that? How do you not know this? I could not relate. How do you not see what I see? And I didn't have the words, of course. I didn't have the language. I didn't have the awareness because you didn't learn this growing up. I sure didn't learn this stuff growing up. When I was growing up, there was no one to help guide you or teach you or make you aware of, the abilities that you had. So, I was left with a lot of, I was confused. So when I stepped more and more and more into my abilities and I started to realize, not everybody has this. It's a little different, and that doesn't mean special, and that doesn't mean superior and all that crap ego likes to jump into. But, I do a lot with people. I can see every single program they're running. I can see all their repressed emotions, the suppressed, unhealed stuff. I can see every way that you sabotage yourself. I can see every bullshit lie you're telling, whether you know you're telling a lie or not. I see it all. I can see exactly where it is in your body. I can see where it's trapped in your chakra system. I can see all the different levels and layers to what you need to heal. I can see that you can't see stuff, like the stuff that's in your blind spots. I feel everything inside of my own body as if it's mine. Your stuff is my stuff. When we are working together, when I'm around people, I feel it. I know it on the deepest level, every aspect of it. And it's, when you can see and feel everything. I always joke around I see everything and I feel everything. It's having those abilities is profound in the way that I can help people and guide them through authentic, deepest level of transformation. It is also very challenging because it really drains you. It's very hard on my body. And you have to be powerful enough to balance and be able to like recharge your battery. So I'll start with that.
Awesome. When you talk about like seeing blockages in chakras, can you elaborate a little on that? Are you seeing energy in people? Is it like concentrations of it? Is it a field of energy that you're seeing, or is it just like, is it in the actual body or outside the body that you're
all of that,
seeing?
like all of it. And I can, so every program, every wound that someone has is a different energetic vibrational frequency. So I can see, detect, read subtle energies, and I can translate what they mean when I see them. And then I use them, I alchemize them. So the stuff that causes our pain, like if we have unhealed traumas, that's where you want to go into that subtle energy that is in your body, that's flowing in your field, your energetic system, the you that is you. You want to go directly into that energy and actually transform the energy itself. That is the only way to truly heal anybody. So people spend all this time in like talk therapy and all these supportive tools and all this other stuff that they want to do. It doesn't go into the energy itself and actually transform what is in there. So I can see what's in there all over your energy fields, inside of your physical body. I see it a lot in, if you have a scarcity issue, for example, you have a scarcity program running that is often trapped in your root chakra or your sacral, or sometimes both. It can also be linked to and connected to like an abandonment issue. There might be some of that in your heart chakra because you had this, horrible abandonment trauma that's unhealed. And that makes you feel powerless and like you're scared of, what may happen, a fear of the future. And all of those are kind of connected like a web. And I can see how they're connected, where they're connected, to what parts of your body or chakra system they're in. I can see it all. So the other thing with that is when people are kind of sharing, here's where I'm stuck, here's where I want healed, here's, my problem, I can translate and I can decode energetic codes of words. So every word somebody speaks has an energetic code to it. And that code, when you say certain words, it allows me to hear what programs are running in that story, in that sentence, in that word you use. I can then decipher the energetic codes of your pain, your unhealed stuff. And that's where I'm drawn in. And that's where we need to focus to actually transform the energy so you no longer have that stuff running inside of you.
Wow.
Wow. Danny and I have witnessed you do a lot of really unexplainable healing work in class, and you've been tapped into this since you were little, and I can't imagine what it was like growing up with you being aware of all of this, but then everything around you was not allowing you to really be in your fullest expression, right? Which is embodying, the human experience, but you're a spiritual being. And now, you being in this place of, sharing wisdom and spreading all this light, could you say it's been a lonely journey? Because I can't imagine the hardship.
There are no words. Loneliness can't come close. Oof. It can't come close. There's not a word for the level of loneliness I've gone through. Yeah. When there is not a human being that can understand you, what you are, let alone like honor you for it. It was an incredibly, incredibly lonely and soul journey. And I had to go on a soul journey. Like, as much as I encourage and teach people, find your teacher or teachers. You need that. Like, that's super helpful when done responsibly. I never had one. I wasn't meant to. because I plug directly into source to gain the wisdom. I am a channel of wisdom. I don't tell anybody what to do, how to do it, coming from Rachel. Rachel's a little human who is here to learn like everybody else. That is not what flows through my words, my actions, the energy healing. Anything I do does not come from my human self. It can't possibly. It's too powerful. It's too divine. It's too expansive for that. So, being a channel, plugging directly in means you cannot use any other human. You have to learn what it means by yourself in your own power, how to plug in, connect to your source of power and be a direct connection to that always. So, yeah, I mean, I've had some, more than one dark night of the soul. And I have certainly gone through such like almost devastating loneliness in the past. So it's like even the closest people that love me very much, they don't see me. They don't know what I am. And it's not that you don't need to be, it's not a need. It's not, I don't need anybody to see me or understand me or validate me. I don't need any, I teach everybody to step in their power. So you don't need any of that shit. It's not a need, but it sure as hell is lonely when you don't have another soul in the world that can understand what you are. So yes, I have gone through a lot of loneliness, and it was also the catalyst to learn how to go higher and higher and higher and higher, so that whether I was alone or not, that did not equate to loneliness.
You always talk about the warrior's journey, and if there's anything that I think we can learn from that story is it is a very lonely journey. And I think it's easy for a lot of people to put you on a pedestal because they could be like, oh my gosh, she's in her gifts and she knows how to do this and she knows how to do that, but people don't understand that if everything is truly balanced, there's always another side. And so I think the thing that so many of us resonate with you, or we feel the resonance of you, is how grounded you are in how powerful you are. And I think that's what makes you very, I don't know if the word is tangible, but it feels like I could reach out, and even though you are so powerful, it feels like I still have this connection to you. It feels very, just feels very easy. And so I know that that's a reflection of how much you've worked on yourself. And so what is that journey been like for you to go through all of your stuff and then stand and be like, hey, let me tell you how I got here?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a very painful, rough journey, without a question, without a question. I went through a combination of when you're a spiritual teacher and you're meant to help change the entire world, because that's what I'm here to do, to bring all of humanity, to really bring them and pull them into the new golden age of harmony, to completely change the collective consciousness, period. I have a big mission. And when you have a big mission, you're going to have a big motherfucking test, and not just one. So I had a 12-year period. It was like my whole life has been tests of initiation constantly. My entire life has been one right after the other, one right after the other. But I went through a 12-year massive test of initiation where it kept getting worse and kept getting darker and kept getting worse and kept getting darker and kept getting worse and kept getting darker. And it just kept getting harder and harder. And it didn't matter how elevated I became, my reality continued to get worse. I knew very consciously what was happening the whole time. It didn't make it any less difficult, because you have to raise your level of power in order to truly powerfully help other people. If you can't do it for yourself, you're a fraud. And that is part of what I teach. Everybody that is so, oh, look, I'm a coach just because I say I am. Oh, look, I'm a teacher just because I say I am. Look, I can lead people. What did you do to get there? How much education, how much expertise, how much training? What did you really do to gain the skills to take another person's soul, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health in your hands? How responsible are you? Because there is a fine line between divine responsibility and selfishness, egoic. I want to be special. I want the followers. I want the money. I want the whatever I want. I want the fame and fortune. I want everybody to think I'm amazing, instead of becoming amazing. And then those that are meant to be helped by you will come.
That's leadership right there. For someone who's got a master's degree in leadership, I look very deeply into it. And leaders aren't the ones who are like, hey, everyone follow me. They're the ones who walk the walk, talk the talk. They've done it, and I can feel it. That's you. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the reason why we flock to you. Me and Danny have a conversation all the time about how one podcast with you, and then it was like 1 billion, and then we were emailing you every other day, because I think the power of the wisdom that you teach is unlike anything that we've seen. And what I've learned as we are, walking into hopefully the golden age of harmony, what I've seen is there are teachers on every level, and you are here to teach what has never been taught. Yeah. And I think a lot of people will hear this and not truly understand what I really mean by that. And I think that's you right now, is the layers that you are, most people do not see and cannot comprehend yet. But I think that's the magic of what you do, is that you don't ever feel like you're unreachable, or that the things that you say are not like I think that when me and Danny, when we hear the wisdom, we can feel the wisdom of it. And what has that been like for you to take these teachings that have never been seen or spoken about or understood, and then filter it through a way that we can consume and understand and begin to change?
Yeah, so that's a process. That has been a process of my own evolution, because I take, and for people who don't know what this means, don't worry about it. You don't have to understand it. It's okay. For some of you that will understand this, I'm going to say it in this way. I take 9th, 10th, 11th, and even now 12th dimensional teachings. That's what channels through. And I have to somehow translate that and put it in a 4th dimensional teaching for people to understand, to be able to start to transform and embody such a high level of teaching when they are, around a 4th dimensional level. And it's what helps bring people all the way up that high. And so you have to introduce something that has never been offered and taught to the world before. So I had to evolve enough to where probably the most challenging thing that I do, because I'm a channeler, I'm constantly channeling the wisdom. It's being taught through me all the time, but it's being delivered in a 12th or 11th dimensional way. And then I have to, in real time, in the moment, turn that into language that makes sense to the people in front of me to the best of my ability. And it's not the easiest thing I've ever done. It takes a lot of practice. And I'll tell you what, you have ego and mind in the way, you can't do it. There's no way. Is what a lot of what I teach people is get out of the mind. You have to get out of the mind and drop into your heart, because thinking ruins everything. You can't think about what you're doing. You can't think about what you're teaching, what wants to come through. You have to be an open channel and allow it to flow through you, because that's how you touch another person's soul. That's how you heal and transform someone at the soul level. If your mind, if your little self is in the way, you are blocking what you're here to offer another person. Why would you ever block what you can possibly offer another person? That's selfishness. That's not selfless. Which is why it always boils down to you doing the work on yourself first. Because the more you work on yourself and you up level to a higher, more magnificent version of you, there is more that you can offer to your clients, to people who need you to help them. That's it. You always work on yourself. You don't say, oh, I achieved this. I'm great. Look at how good I am. Look at how psychic I am. Look at what a great healer I am. It's beautiful that you've achieved that. Go higher. Keep going. You don't stop. Why? Because if I can offer you more, I'm going to get there. I can't offer you more out there as a selfless, spiritual, psychic healer, a being, a mystic, if I don't take my ass to the top. See, we do things backwards in our world. We do it backwards. Everybody follow me. I'm an influencer. Really influencing what? Because all you're really doing is offering everybody the programs, the unhealed wounds, all the shit that is in there, your shadow self. You are offering that energetically to people, to the world, whether you realize it or not. Heal your shit first. Do the real work. Only then can you offer your true gifts to humanity. We need the level of responsibility. That is the first way of oneness, is the way of responsibility. That's the way of oneness number one.
Speechless.
We need a microphone drop sound effect when Rachel's on. In ice skating, a triple axel when someone lands it. That's how I feel every
Yeah.
time.
We were just at the Olympics and someone just did a quadruple backflip. Boom. And landed on one ski with like
Yes.
balls in the air,
Exactly.
maybe naked.
Wow. So many different places to go in that, but I think the most profound thing, and I think I've seen this in Danny's journey and my journey a lot, is the wisdom of what it really means to come from heart centeredness and get out of your mind. So simple, but the most powerful thing in the world. Yep. And so my question to you is, when you are getting these teachings and they're coming through, do you ever have moments where you really have to stop for a second because it is so grandiose, it is so deep, it is so powerful?
So the easy answer is yes. I learn from the teachings just like anybody else learns from teachings. They're given to me first, and then I know this is what I need to offer to the world. So they come through, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's amazing. Oh my God, I love this. That's amazing. A lot of times, because the teachings are they're so elevated that it knocks me on my ass energetically to receive them. And I have to upgrade. My physical body has to constantly go through these upgrades energetically in order to hold the power of the teachings, in order to then offer those teachings to other people. When the universal ways of oneness channeled through me, and I channeled the book on the universal ways of oneness, which there's no release date yet. So if anybody wants to know, don't worry, we'll let you know. But when that channeled through me, I went through upgrades it was constant, because I was being offered a higher level of healing and transforming people at the soul level with the teachings. So my healing abilities really exploded and expanded way higher. So it is a constant, that's why I call it a warrior's journey. Like, it's a constant upgrade. It's very uncomfortable. It is exhausting. There's a lot of recovery time needed for it. And just to touch on what you mentioned earlier, I hear a lot when people get to know me, sometimes people will say like, oh my God, I wish I could be a psychic. Oh my God, I wish I had your gifts. Like, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you ask for, because they're beautiful and I love them and I'm very grateful. It is an honor to have all of the psychic and healing gifts that I have, but it is not for the faint of heart. It is not for the faint of heart. Even I was always an athlete growing up, hardcore workout, intensely 5 days a week. Even my workouts had to change because it was so much for my physical body that when I work out, my body was like, I can't do that. You have to stop. Like, I couldn't. I was going to end up over exhausting or hurting myself. I even have to scale that back sometimes because it's just too much energetically for my body. It changes every aspect of your life that you can't even begin to think of until you're forced to change every aspect of your life. So
I feel you there, because I've really had to go through and change every aspect of my life. And the more that I open up to this work, the more I realize how sensitive I am. And the more that I play into that and open, I'm starting to find where I need to create more balance. I can't push myself as much as I used to, because I see what it's doing to me on an energetic level and a deeper level. One thing I want to ask you, so you're talking about, we're talking about channeling things through. Does it come through the heart? Does it come through someone speaking to you in the mind? Are you seeing visions? Is it during meditation, or is it while you're, in the grocery store grabbing, your breakfast, or how does it come through?
That's a good question. All of it. And I often receive everything in so many different ways in 1 second. Yeah. I feel it. I see it. I hear it. I know it. I embody. It comes from every way, shape, or form. Usually at one time in one split second. So it's so hard to put into words. I am sort of a walking meditation. I love meditation. I love it. I love to meditate. Hardly have any time. Sometimes when I'll drop in and I'll start to meditate, it's just, oh, there you are. Meh. And then, and I get this huge download and I'm like, you motherfuckers, I just want some peace and quiet. God damn it. It's like, I can't even just meditate for 15 minutes without shit coming through, so that happens.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you're finally quiet for a few minutes. Here you go. We're going to give you 100 more things to put into teachings. This is the part that's really hard to put into words. My soul is directly connected into the universe. It is an open, ongoing channel. So as it comes in through my soul, and my soul teaches everything that comes through, if that kind of makes sense for some people. I know it can be hard to grasp, but my soul is connected directly. And then my heart, the heart chakra, is the one that sort of directs the teachings, if that makes sense. So I receive it through my soul, and it's guided through my heart. And everything that I do, whether I write and I'm channeling or teaching or healing in the moment, whatever, that's how it is. So I will receive a teaching about something or someone, and it'll come in an instant. It might take me 2 hours to teach what I just downloaded. Like, it just comes in, and then I have to translate it, if that makes sense. So it comes in like every way. And it's taken me a lot of years to master deciphering everything that comes in at one time. So
something that me and Ellie have talked about, and she's really helped me with, is, I was getting really frustrated with, where are my psychic gifts? Why aren't they opening up? And she used the analogy of like clearing out the corridor. And you must have gone through quite a process of clearing out the corridor. And once you get to the other end, that's when the channel is clear for these gifts to come through, and really open yourself to the wonders of the universe.
Absolutely. You have to be so crystal clear. And the other requirement to teach with the level that I teach, when you're bringing something new to the planet, for example, and of course, this is going to help every single person to realize what this means and do it, to get to their highest level, whatever that means for them, is you have got to embody the perfect balance between divine feminine and divine masculine. And at some point, sacred feminine, sacred masculine. When you embody the perfect balance of oneness between the two of those, because they're not separate, you clear out and you transmute every single thing that is bullshit that we've learned, whether about, divine masculinity, all the false crap that is taught about that isn't true. You cannot embody any of it. You can't have any toxic masculinity in you. And the same exact thing for the feminine. You can't have that wounded feminine lingering around. You can't have toxic feminine. You can't have the nonsense and the bullshit that's taught with this is what feminine means. You can't have any of that in your system. That all needs to be cleared out, or you cannot be a teacher and a channel to bring something new at this level to the planet, if that makes sense. Like, you have to be a sacred oneness. And that's what I'm here to teach. That's what the universal ways of oneness are. So it's part of how I can be so grounded and stable with protectiveness and spaciousness and safety. That's all divine masculine. While simultaneously going into the depths of darkness with zero fear, pulling everything out and transmuting it right here, right now, that doesn't need to be there anymore. That's the sacred feminine. So it's both working together simultaneously.
Yeah. It's a journey for a lot of us to really learn how to balance that. Back to what Danny was saying about, I think as coaches in training, right, we look at you and we're like, okay, cool. So like, when is this going to be activated for us? And what was really big for me was, I was in a class with you last week, and, you always bring us back to the heart. Because, I think that as programmed, we were asleep for a long time. We think this is it. This is the mind it's going to lead us. It's going to take us wherever. And what really stuck with me was the mind gets so caught up in wanting to have this gift, and I need this and I need that.
That's it.
And the moment you walk away from the mind, you drop straight into the heart, then it's clear, baby. Like, because now you're coming from the energy that you're really supposed to be driving in and not here.
And to notice the self-awareness, the acute level of self-awareness is critical, because it's noticing that I want that. When you're in wanting, you're in woundedness. When you are in wanting energy, you are in scarcity, you are in lack, you are in smallness, you contract down. Wanting energy is not receiving energy. And receiving energy is expansive energy. It is spaciousness. It is, I am powerful enough to receive what you have to give to me, universe. Period. When you're in wanting, you're too small to receive what you think you want. You're too small. Your energy isn't big enough. It's not powerful enough. It's not expansive enough. You have to get out of wanting anything and instead connect to the heart and be with what is right now, so that you can see the things that are actually blocking your healing or psychic abilities from coming in or from opening up. Because what's in there blocking it needs to be loved into transcendence, because those lower energies, those lower frequencies don't allow you to be spacious enough or expansive enough or powerful enough to handle a gift like that. So stop wanting and go into, I love what I am now, what is in here now that I need to see and embrace and pull into my heart and love into transcendence. What is here for me right now? And every single time you do that, you expand more powerfully into a more magnificent, divine version of you. You elevate to a higher level of consciousness when you do that and only that, and you rinse and repeat over and over again. And then next thing you know, your intuition is stronger. Your intuition is coming online, because that crap that is in there to begin with that's blocking it is no longer blocking it. You are transmuting it. You are alchemizing everything as a mystical being. And the more you do that, whatever gifts are meant for you open up organically. But if you cannot love who and what and where you are right now, you can't love powerfully enough for these gifts to come. You can't love gifts that powerfully. Your powerfulness, your divine level of power has to match the power of the gift that you want to come in. So stop wanting and instead love, and it'll all happen as a byproduct.
There was a moment yesterday, I went through a big healing, and something came up that I'd done something really wrong, down to my bones. It was a trauma from when I was a kid, and I thought it was so real. I thought that I'd killed someone as a child. I thought that's what I was experiencing. Had to leave the cinema, go home, and drop in. And I asked my heart to take me to what was going on, and turns out it was a trauma of lit a fire, and the fire got out of control, and I was worried that it was going to kill someone. But in my 10-year-old brain, I'd kill someone. And that stuck with me. And these are the wounds that we carry. I was feeling so much shame and guilt for what I'd done. And if I didn't have the training that you gave me to be able to say, oh my God, I might have killed someone. And I said to myself, whatever comes up, I will love. And if I've killed someone, I'll have to love that. And if I didn't have that level of power and awareness, I wouldn't have been able to go into my own wound, because I wouldn't have been able to look at it. And it was only because I was able to actually say to my inner child, whatever you did, I will love you. And then he showed me. And it wasn't what I thought it was. But it shows the power of what it really means to love yourself unconditionally.
Exactly.
And when we're able to go into the heart, the healing that happens there is just incredible.
It is. That's where the miracles occur. That's where the magic happens. And it's beautiful that you achieved it. Good job doing the work, the real work. You got yourself there.
You know, I think a lot of people, right, if they're don't understand what we're really doing, they could hear me, because I see the judgments, right? When I say something like, oh yeah, like I'm becoming a mystical life coach, and just on those words they're like, okay, like you okay, you know. But obviously they don't understand what we're really doing here. For someone who's listening to this, can you talk about the marriage between the mysticism and the healing aspect of this, so people can really understand what it means to become a mystical life coach and then to be coached by one?
Sure. Yeah. So the mystical part comes from when you learn what it means, and there's many levels to this. I'm just going to simplify. When you learn what it means, and not learn in your head, embody what it means to connect to your higher soul, to divinity itself. When you connect there and you realize we are a soul having a human experience, a human journey. It is a soul's journey in human experience form. So when we are stuck or in pain or have our unhealed traumas, or we are, suffer from depression or PTSD or whatever it might be, if you only address the human part of you, you're missing the whole soul part, which is why people don't heal. Number one. People who go real spiritual and real woo-woo, it's like you're forgetting that you're human, because you're both. You need to heal both simultaneously. And how you heal both simultaneously is you learn about subtle energies. You have to master subtle energies. Because we are divine, powerful beings, whether we know it or not, makes no difference. Because we are divine, powerful beings, we are manifesting and creating things all the time based on our experiences. We are nothing but energy. Energy never dies. Everything is energy. Your thoughts are energy. Your emotions are energy. The programs that you run are energies. Energy doesn't die, which is why people have gotten it wrong for so long when they say, oh, breath work will heal you. Meditation is going to heal you. All these tools outside of yourself are going to heal you. Talk therapy is going to heal you. That stuff can temporarily move energy. It doesn't transform the core or the root that is in there that needs to energetically transform. Period. End. Meditation is beautiful at moving energy. Okay. A lot of things, working out can move energy, for crying out loud. Oh, I feel better. Great, good, temporarily, but you're not healed. Why are you wasting your time on all this shit? We not learned by now? You are your source of divine power. So a mystical coach has learned how to heal herself, himself, by going inside of themselves, their energetic beings, seeing the pain or the wound that is there, and alchemizing that energy. That's permanent transformational healing. Period. End. That is transformational healing. And then learning how to guide someone else through that is seeing the programs and the wounds that somebody else has, and being able to see where their pain is, and teaching them that they have the power to go inside of their pain and actually alchemize that energy. It's like turning a piece of coal into a diamond. Why are you going to hang on to the coal? Why are you going to hang on to the coal? When you can transform it, you can alchemize it into a diamond. Once it's a diamond, it doesn't go back to being a piece of coal. That's authentic transformational healing. Transformational healing is permanent. What most people call transformational out there isn't transformational at all. It is supportive tools being used to temporarily move energy so you feel better for a short period of time, and then it comes back because you never healed any of the damn wounds. This is alchemy in its highest form, period, end. So it is the deepest level of transformational healing that people have access to in this lifetime. And that's what all you amazing, beautiful, magnificent, mystical coaches are learning how to master, so you can offer that to other people who come to you as clients.
It's interesting, because when we started the course, one of the classmates started asking about subtle energies, and your response was, we'll get to it later. So you're like, we're doing it now and we'll get to it later. And I thought, oh, that's really, and I like made a mental note of that. And then the more and more I progressed with this work, I understood that what we were learning was subtle energies. It's just you packaged it in the 3D, 4D mind. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier, is the subtle energies as a teaching that you've, managed to convey through the lingo that we could understand. And if anyone's out there listening, oh, subtle energies, like, what's that? Don't worry about it. Do the work, and you will open to it as the process goes on. Because the more, back to what Ellie said earlier, the more that we get trapped in the mind, oh, am I doing subtle energies? Am I doing this? That's not what it is. Forget it. What programs are you running? Grow your light, open your heart.
Beautiful. Absolutely magnificent. And it's spot on. It's spot on. It's the mind wants to understand, and the mind wants to gain a ton of knowledge so that it can tell everybody else how knowledgeable it is and show everybody else, look at me, I know so much. And that's not healing. It's just gaining knowledge. That's not wisdom, So I love that you say that. And it's funny, I've never heard that before. You've never shared that before about your experience with subtle energies, but you're right. I'm not going to explain subtle energies at the beginning of the course because people will get too trapped in mind and want to figure it out and want to understand it instead of embodying it, doing it. And then all of a sudden the realizations start coming to you organically. I have been doing subtle energy since day one in this course. I've been actually learning to transform energies on every level since day one. And now my mind can play catch up to what I've already been becoming. And that is living in heart-centeredness versus the mind.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so beautiful. I think when I started awakening, I didn't know anything. So all I did was like go on the internet, and it was always talk to your spirit guides. It was always you're from another planet. It was always you're a starseed, you're an alien, do this, meditate, all these things. And it keeps you in a cycle of non-growth because you're what they're constantly teaching is look outside of yourself to find what you're looking for. And that is the opposite of how to really heal and evolve in this life. And so I think that's why the tools that are given to us at MSU aren't go on a mountain and then tear up some paper and then make a fire and then take your clothes off and then it's not anything like that. It's shut everything off and drop in. We are so disconnected from our heart that I think even the idea of dropping in is so polarizing for like people are like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, what does that even mean? Right? And I think that's why this is the warrior's work, because the hardest thing you can do in this life is face your darkness and face your shadow.
And love it.
But understanding and love it. But understanding that through love, do you even know the other side? And I think that's what's been so revolutionary for us as coaches, because we are seeing the fruits of this labor. When I watch Danny move through something and he's literally experiencing bliss and love, he's not on mushrooms, he's not taking acid, he's not on ayahuasca, he's sitting in his room
connecting to the truth of who he is. That is connection to your own divinity. That's why it feels so amazing. That's who you are. That's the magnificence of who you are. That's who you are, that bliss, that joy. And the power to move through anything, any pain or darkness that is there, that power is also who you are. No wonder it feels amazing to go there. Look at how beautiful you are.
But we get so conditioned to think otherwise.
Exactly.
We get so programmed to come away from that love. Yeah, and this work is all about getting back there.
Yeah. I think the one thing that's always really surprised me about MSU is just the equal amount of men and women there are, especially when we are being guided by a woman. There's all these like standards and things that you think are going to happen, but I think it completely breaks every barrier of gender, whatever. It doesn't. There's no age. It's all those norms are broken. And so my question to you is, you are, launching this program that you and I have been discussing a lot, the Divine Heart of Man. And, this program is being launched because the men are being called. And so can you talk to us a little bit about what your experience has been like seeing all these men, especially someone like Danny, experience all of this healing and, evolve in the way that they are?
It is magnificent, and it's breathtaking to see. It is just absolutely so delightful to my soul, because there are so many men that really want to be divine. They really want to be divine. They really want to heal, and they want to become their most magnificent selves, not because they are, to show off to everybody else and to be able to compete and to be the most successful and show everybody how amazing they are. Like that old paradigm of shit, I see it going. I see that there have been so many men that have tried so hard and they've struggled, and they've tried everything. They've gone to the wilderness retreats. They've done all the breath work. They've done all the things, right? You've done all the things. Why am I still suffering? Why do I still have depression? Why do I still have unhealed traumas? Why can't I heal from the trauma experience when I was in the military? Why, these are all my clients over the years. It's like, I've tried everything. Why am I still stuck in unhealed, inner child stuff? And it's okay, now you're ready. And I see so many men who are like, they can feel it because they're ready for it. They can feel the teachings that come through, and they're ready to step into oneness. They are ready to evolve to that level, you know and seeing that I'm impressed. I'm so impressed by these men who are in this certification program. I'm impressed by so many clients that come, that I have coached over the years and are now getting coached by some of our certified coaches. They are doing the real work, and the results that they get to experience in their lives are nothing short of miraculous. And the experience itself, it sets them free. And then they get to step into what true divinity is, not what some, people who don't know any better are coaching out there and teaching out there. They now see the difference. And because they get to experience the difference, I think there you're going to see that divine level of like loyalty to the work, because it's so different than anything that is offered in the world.
Do you agree, Danny?
Yeah. I was just trying to take all that in,
Yeah.
trying
Yeah.
to be in the moment there. There's a lot. Yeah. Whenever you talk, Rachel, there's a lot coming through. So yeah, it's just for anyone listening who's out there, especially if you're a man, like if you really want to heal your wounds. I remember hearing Rachel talk in the fall, and it was during a time that I wanted to become a coach. I suffered from depression for a few years, and I got to a place where I was kind of felt ready to start helping people. But I knew there was something deeper, something that I needed to, some more healing that I needed to address. And thankfully found her. And so if you're listening to this and you want to become a coach, or you want healing, if you listen to this as a man, there's no better place you can come than MSU. We'll get you the healing that you need, but you've got to be devoted. If you're not devoted to this work, if you're not willing to step up to the plate and do this work and heal, then it's not going to work. This is warriors work, as we've mentioned. And if I'm saying this and you're feeling the calling, like, let's go, let's do this.
Absolutely. Because anybody can go visit mastersofselfuniversity.com and sign up for our programs, or get a free consultation for coaching, or, jump in and join our Divine Heart of Man program. It's open enrollment right now. And I'm not saying this is some sales pitch, because I can't fucking stand that shit. I don't do that. I don't come from that place, but I'm being very honest with you. Spots are limited. So for those of you who are interested, go sign up for it now. And I will mention that it's just a program. It's unhealed woundedness when we think, man or woman, that we cannot learn from another human based on their gender, based on their race, based on anything. How dare you run those programs? Those are programs of separation, and they often manifest in the form of programs of sexism, programs of racism, et cetera. They're all programs of separation. They come from the ego, who wants to keep people and other things separate versus unifying and learning what oneness actually means. So why deny yourselves one of the most powerful teachings that can come through any human by saying, well, I'm not going to listen to that one because it's a woman? I mean, if you're in that level of ignorance, you have a lot of suffering. Years of suffering are ahead of you before you're ready to really heal what's in there. So this is an age where we are transforming all of those programs of separation. And the ones who are really ready to step into their true divine power, they're showing up everywhere. And I welcome you. I welcome you. There's always room for more.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much for being here. And obviously you're going to be in so many other episodes, but a lot of gems in this one. And we love you so much. And to everyone at home, just check out mastersofselfuniversity.com. Okay. If you want to work with Rachel, if you want to work with any of our coaches, please check us out. Leave us a comment, subscribe, rate our podcast, share the love. Okay. We're out here spreading light. And Rachel, we love you. Danny, love you. Thank you guys for being here. And we will catch you guys next time. Bye.
Thank you.